Sports can be beautiful, the comebacks, the records, the moments that give you goosebumps. But sometimes, in the blink of an eye, everything stops. A player goes down. The crowd falls silent. And you realize just how fragile these athletes really are. Today, we're counting down the top 10 saddest injuries in sports history. Moments that broke hearts and changed careers forever. Let's get into it. Number 10. Derrick Rose's torn ankle, 2012. Derrick Rose was the youngest MVP in NBA history. At just 22 years old, he was electric, fast, fearless, and looking like the future of the Chicago Bulls. Then came Game 1 of the 2012 NBA playoffs against the Philadelphia 76ers. Late in the game, with the Bulls comfortably ahead, Rose drove to the basket, landed awkwardly, and immediately crumpled to the floor, grabbing his knee. He had torn his ankle. The arena went completely silent. Bulls fans watched in horror as one of their most beloved players was helped off the court. Rose missed the entire following season trying to recover. But the sad part? He was never quite the same after that. The explosiveness that made him unstoppable slowly faded away. It remains one of the most heartbreaking moments in modern basketball history, not just because of the injury itself, but because of the incredible career that could have been. Number 9. Kevin Ware's horrific leg break, 2013. This one is genuinely hard to watch even years later. During the 2013 NCAA Tournament Elite 8 game, Louisville guard Kevin Ware went up to contest a three-point shot and came down at a terrible angle. His leg snapped completely in half right there on the court in front of thousands of fans and a national TV audience. Players from both teams burst into tears. Coaches turned away. The reaction alone told you everything about how awful it was. What makes this story both heartbreaking and incredible is what happened next. While lying on the floor in serious pain, Ware reportedly told his teammates to go win the game. Louisville did exactly that, and they won the national championship days later. Ware made a full recovery and returned to play, but that image of his teammates sobbing around him is burned into the memory of every sports fan who saw it live. Number 8. Tiger Woods' knee and back struggles, 2008-2017. Tiger Woods didn't suffer one single devastating injury, he suffered years of them, which in some ways made it even sadder to watch. In 2008, Tiger somehow won the US Open on a fractured leg and torn ankle, then immediately went in for surgery and missed the rest of the season. That was just the beginning. Over the next decade, he had multiple back surgeries, including a spinal fusion in 2017 that many believed had ended his career for good. Watching the greatest golfer of his generation go from dominating every tournament to barely being able to walk was genuinely painful. The man who once seemed superhuman was suddenly vulnerable, and fans across the world weren't sure they'd ever see him compete again at the highest level. His eventual comeback and 2019 Masters win was one of sport's greatest redemption stories, but the years of watching him struggle remain some of the saddest chapters in golf history. Number 7. Monica Seles gets stabbed on court, 1993. This one goes beyond a typical sports injury. It's one of the most disturbing events in the history of professional sport. Monica Seles was the #1 women's tennis player in the world in 1993. She was only 19 years old, already a 9-time Grand Slam champion, and seemingly unstoppable. Then during a tournament in Hamburg, Germany, a deranged fan of rival Steffi Graf walked up to the court during a changeover and stabbed Seles in the back with a knife. The attacker was tackled, but the damage was done. Seles was physically wounded, but the psychological impact was even worse. She stayed away from professional tennis for over 2 years, struggling with trauma and depression. When she finally returned in 1995, she was never the same force on the court. Many believe she could have gone on to become the greatest women's tennis player ever. Instead, her prime years were stolen from her in the most unthinkable way possible. Number 6. Piermario Morosini collapses and dies on the pitch, 2012. Piermario Morosini, a 25-year-old Italian footballer for Livorno, tragically collapsed on the pitch in 2012 after suffering a cardiac arrest and could not be saved. His death shocked the football world, leading to postponed matches and widespread mourning. What made it even more heartbreaking was his life story. He had already lost both parents and a brother and grew up in an orphanage. Football was his only escape and passion. His passing became a powerful reminder of how fragile life can be, far beyond sport. Number 5. Ronaldo Nazario's knee injuries 1999-2002. Ronaldo, the Brazilian legend, is one of football's greatest players, but knee injuries nearly ended his career at its peak. After a major setback in 1999 and another just as he returned in 2000, he spent years fighting to play again. He made an incredible comeback, leading Brazil to World Cup glory in 2002 as top scorer. Still, those lost years remain one of football's most heartbreaking periods. Number 4. Bo Jackson's career-ending hip injury 1991. Bo Jackson was a rare two-sport superstar, playing NFL football for the Los Angeles Raiders and MLB baseball for the Kansas City Royals at the same time, and excelling in both. Known for his incredible speed and power, he was considered one of the most gifted athletes ever, but in a 1991 NFL playoff game, a hip injury caused a vascular necrosis, ending his football career and severely limiting his baseball future. At his peak, Bo was unmatched, and fans still wonder what he could have achieved without the injury. Number 3. Senna's fatal crash at Imola 1994. Ayrton Senna was more than a Formula One driver. He was a legend and three-time world champion, widely regarded as one of the greatest ever. On May 1, 1994, at the San Marino Grand Prix in Imola, his car crashed into a concrete barrier and he later died from head injuries at age 34. The world was left in shock, with millions mourning his loss in Brazil alone. Senna was a national hero, known for his talent, passion and awareness of racing dangers. His death forever changed Formula One and led to major safety reforms, but his legacy remains one of the most heartbreaking in sports history. Number 2. Evan Tanner's tragic death 2008. Evan Tanner was a UFC middleweight champion, but more than that, he was loved for his honesty, writing and deeply human personality. He openly shared his struggles, including battles with alcohol, which made fans connect with him on a personal level. In September 2008, Tanner went on a solo camping trip in the California desert, but ran out of fuel and was left stranded in extreme heat without enough water. He died from heat exposure at just 37 years old. Number 1. Muhammad Ali's battle with Parkinson's disease. One of the saddest stories in sports is Muhammad Ali slowly losing his battle with Parkinson's disease. Diagnosed in 1984, just years after retiring, many believe years of taking heavy punches led to his condition. The man who once floated like a butterfly and talked with unmatched confidence gradually lost his ability to move and speak clearly. Yet Ali never lost his spirit. He kept appearing in public, smiling and inspiring millions even as his body weakened. His 1996 moment lighting the Olympic torch in Atlanta, hands shaking but spirit unbroken, became one of sport's most emotional scenes. And that's our list, the top 10 saddest injuries in sports history. These moments remind us that behind every athlete is a real human being, someone with dreams, sacrifices and a story that goes far beyond the game. Some of these athletes came back stronger, some never fully returned, and some were taken from us far too soon. If this video moved you, drop a like and let us know in the comments which story hit you the hardest. Subscribe if you're new, and we'll see you in the next one.